Take two. Apparently, I forgot to hit the button, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, dog. It's like I don't see it going anywhere.
Did we just go live about 90 seconds ago?
Yeah, thanks for catching that. So let me try
That's
that.
a great way to start the first show ever.
Yeah, I know. You know what? That's what
I
happens.
saw like a red dot at the top, so I'm like, maybe we are. I don't know. Maybe it's just the pre-recorded version of it. Start with the intro. Nobody got to see that awesome intro you did.
All right, I'm gonna do a reset. So rewind, like the Jamaican says. All right. Jason Centeno, aka Daddy's Fast Cash, and this is my second attempt at going live. And guess what? That's all right. So I wanted to thank you all for showing up. Apparently, you can't show up if I don't press the right button. So lesson learned. What is this show about? This show is for dad entrepreneurs. We're going to sit here and we're going to talk about family life, dad hacks, just get into each other's lives and hopefully support each other in what we're doing. This very first show I'm dedicating to the next guest, Manny. He's one of the 3 people that inspired it. He, I had the idea sitting somewhere with one person, and then Manny helped me bring it to fruition. So he gets to be my first guest. I'm going to show you something really cool that he put together for me right now, and then I'm going to bring him on. How about that? So I'll see you in 1 minute. Be right back.
Fatherhood. It's how we keep our tribes and families strong. You've landed in the right place if you're ready for dad jokes, tips, and tricks on fun parenting. Also with interviews with some of the coolest dad entrepreneurs we could track down and have them share their strategies to tackling it all in business and life on the Dad Next Door. And now, your host, Mr. Dad Jokes himself, Jason Centeno.
Say hi, Nana. Shy. They don't show you it in action because things like this. Oh, fix it.
I love Daddy, he's a superhero. I don't know what are you superhero? I know.
I don't know. Am I a superhero? I love that.
We're going to find out, that's for sure.
My man, Manny, the man, the myth, and may you never die, but if you do, soon to be legend.
Manny, man, I got a lot of work to do, man.
All right, so take 2. We're going to talk about we're going to talk to Manny Lopez. He is the third father of this whole thing, the triad, the Trinity. There's actually a Trinity to this. I know you like that because Jesus got Trinity, right? So there you go. Helps it out. So guys, Manny Lopez, he runs what's called the Network of Influence. He has events called Manifestation. He is the CEO of a company called Orphan to CEO, and I'm going to let him tell you about that and his whole story. So Manny, I want you to give yourself a way better introduction than I just did because I'm thrown off by the mistakes of the past already. But yeah, man, like just I love you, brother. I want you to give them everything you got as far as just like your story. Well, we'll get to your story, but just tell them what you got for them. Tell them what you're about so that they get a great impression of you.
Awesome, bro. Well, I mean, this is the fun part about going live, right? You get to just roll with the flow, and I guarantee you, I don't know many people that will have their very first show where they take 2 within the first 2 minutes. That's going to be good right there. So a little bit about me. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a speaker, an author, a coach, consultant, and my goal is to truly teach entrepreneurship in a variety of different ways. And I teach it in a concept called serving your way to success, where you teach the process of what it is that you specialize in and give it away for free. I mean, people literally, a lot of people don't know what I actually get paid to do because I'm always giving away things for free. I host events for free. I created an online virtual learning platform that we've served over 20,000 students and entrepreneurs in 80 countries for free. And it's a fact of, for me, really trying to change the foster care system. I come from the foster care system myself. At 18 months, me and my sister were just left in a car. And that resulted in me and her going through the foster care system for many years, suffering everything from malnutrition, abuse, neglect, torture, you name it. These things still happen today, which is why I'm really passionate about fixing this system. where 2 out of 3 kids are aging out, ending up dead, homeless, or in jail within just 1 year. So my goal is to truly reverse that statistic. With this formula of what we created in this ecosystem, I want to see 2 out of 3 of these kids have a mentor, understand entrepreneurship, and own their own business.
Yeah, brother, and that's awesome. And that's kind of, when I was introduced to you, that whole mission that you just shared right there, I'm on the opposite side of that with, the adoption and advocating for adoption. So when I heard about you, I was like, let me check this guy out. And then when I got to hear your story and see how you're living your life and what what you're giving back, I was like, I got to be on this ride with him, whatever it takes. So awesome. Glad to have met you. Now we're both entrepreneurs. How did you become an entrepreneur? I mean, I know you're going to tell me the whole background, but I also want to hear about like the very first entrepreneurial thing you did. Like, what was the first? Because we just did a first right here, and it was definitely not super smooth. So you obviously developed along the way. Look at you now, Mr. Smooth Criminal right now. So talk to me about how did you become an entrepreneur, and then like what was your first gig?
All right, if we go back, all right. I remember living in Lake Elsinore. I live in Lake Elsinore now, but the final adoption I had was in Lake Elsinore. My forever family is what they call it. And I remember when my cousins would come over, and I would literally have sticker prices on all of my toys. I'm like, I don't want these toys anymore. My cousins love playing with these toys. I would be the salesman of trying to sell them toys. I'm like, man, make sure you bring some lunch money when you're coming over on Saturday. I got some awesome stuff for you guys. So that was kind of like my first test into sales. But my first business, if you're familiar with Redbox machines, right? You go to the grocery stores or anything like that, and you get those DVD machines. Well, I had one called Instant DVD Rentals. We were one machine, one location, and going every week to Walmart and Best Buy, buying a bunch of DVDs, going down to this, in essence, it was a vending machine for DVDs that played trailers on the thing, had a see-through window. I thought we were like revolutionizing. I'm like, Redbox sucks. You can't even play the trailers. You don't even get you get this little flimsy thing. You don't get the full disc. But man, that was my first crash course in entrepreneurship, where I realized target market and traffic, right? If you don't have leads coming in daily, you don't have a way to reach your audience, you don't have a way to get people seeing your business every day. I had only needed 7 customers a day to rent a $1 video, and I couldn't bring enough traffic to do that. And I'm like, man, that was a really big learning curve where I had to understand lead generation. That's what kind of morphed into what I do today, which is all about lead generation, all about data, all about being able to follow up, build relationships, and create more clients and opportunities.
So you had to rent the machine, or like, what was the daily cost?
Literally bought it from Canada, $20,000 machine, flew it into California, put it into this little it was like a high-end sports facility where we were going to have a perfect spot. They had this really nice area where they'd have this, what do you call like a little candy store where you can buy popcorn and soda and all that kind of stuff, right? And when we first got there, we're going to put it right here next to the store. So everybody that walks into the store, they're going to see the machine, right? When we got it there and we set it up there, they're like, I don't like it right there. Can we move it over here next to the other vending machines? And I'm like, wait a second, you want to put it next to the locker rooms where people are going to go play tennis? How are people going to go rent DVDs playing tennis? They're going to rent DVDs buying snacks and popcorn. Like, hello? But that's where we lost all the traffic. We had no traffic anymore, and we would get 1 to 2 rentals a day. So it was very disappointing, to say the least. But we ended up selling the DVD machine to Cal State Fullerton. I don't know what they ended up doing with it, but we ended up selling to a college and cashing out.
Did you break even at least, or not?
No, we lost. We lost a lot of money on that one. So counting in all the DVDs I had to go buy, all the travel expenses, all the meetings that we had to take. And then I partnered with somebody on the project. So we're making half of 50, 10. I mean, it was disgusting to say the least. But my next venture was very good. My next venture from that point on is literally the business I operate today. And I've run that one since 2011. But it's been a long road.
That's pretty good record. Only one swing and a miss. I mean, at least you didn't end up out there doing pirated DVDs out the trunk and all that. Although that, that's a hustle too. It's a way to start.
Well, I had a bunch of DVDs. Basically, I'm sitting there at every garage sale saying, buy my stacks of DVDs. I can't sell these things. I'm giving them away for like 50 cents to $1.
You should have
$20 each, brand new. I'm like, that was a terrible
You should have gone with the Girl Scouts and been like, "Yo, movie candy and movies, what's up?" And or cookies.
Right? The marketing I know now. I mean, I would be a beast today, but back then I knew nothing about traffic, automation, lead generation. It was just, we got a thing and people will see it and they're all going to come buy it. And I'm like, well, no, only like one of every 500 people go buy it, right? So I need to figure out how to bring in thousands of people to see that every day, and that's where it really started to come in and figure out that most businesses don't know this stuff. When I started learning this and started becoming a sponge for knowledge on these areas, I realized businesses struggle with lead generation, marketing, sales funnels, how to get their message out there to more people, because they're really good at serving. You get them in front of a group of people to talk about what they do, they can generate clients and opportunities very easily. But how do they find those groups? How do they find those people that they can say, you're somebody I should be connecting and collaborating with?
Look at that. You got yourself a nice little comment there from Precious Kids Foundation.
Precious.
Hey, Precious Kids. So I know most of your big why. You stated it. You want to eliminate something, but I want you to share your big why and what's your mission here. Like, it's pretty big. So I know it's to end. You say it better than me.
So for me, it's a small one, very specific thing that will lead to a lot of different ways that we solve that problem. So many times you hear people talking about, I want to change the world. I want to teach people and kids what they didn't teach us in high school. And it's always a dream. It's always like a nonprofit I'll create when I've had all the success and I've got all the check boxes of life. When in reality, 2017, I went to this event in Vegas called Thrive. And it was during the time when they had that Las Vegas shooting. And it was a very weird time because it was the very first event ever I left early. So it was a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The whole situation happened on Sunday. Friday and Saturday, I go to this event, and I'm a sponge for knowledge. I get this one instance, I think it was Saturday, where one of the speakers gets up and he starts talking about a Tom Shoes business model. And January of that year, I had that conversation with God that said, help the orphans, you have no fear. And I was looking for a way, like, how do I do this? How do I help the orphans? How do I build my business? How do I support my family? How do I do this, right? How do I truly serve my way to success? And this guy's on stage talking about a Tom Shoes business model. He's like, look, every business can go out there and do this. You can create a product or a service where you not only can serve the client, but now you can create a scholarship. You can create some type of credit that you can give to somebody else for free, like Tom Shoes. Every time somebody buys a pair of shoes, they give a pair of shoes away to somebody that would never be able to afford a pair of shoes. So in the same concept, I wanted to do that for entrepreneurship because I saw these kids, if they just had a mentor, somebody that believed in them, somebody that could show them the path that they're on and how to actually accomplish it. When I was growing up, by the time I was 21, nobody around me was telling me it's possible. No one around me was telling me, oh yeah, you could do that, Manny. Here's how to do it. Yeah, that's easy, Manny, sure. No, they're all saying, really, you want to own a business? What? You think you're going to do that? You think you can have a house? You think you can raise a family? You think you can do, everybody around me was just telling me, no, you can't do that. That's not possible for you. Then I got a mentor. I started listening to somebody who actually did what I wanted to do and was willing to teach me. Then I looked at entrepreneurship to see that, wow, look, I can truly build my own dream. I don't have to wait for permission to build someone else's dream. And then finding out that faith is truly the foundation to build what you are looking to build. Most people look at their lives and they see, why all this chaos? Why does this always happen to me? Why do I always have to deal with this? When in reality, your chaos, if you document it well and you understand what you're going through, it will become not only your survival guide, but everybody else's survival guide that you share it with. And that's truly what we're here to do. And my purpose is to get people to understand that concept of how simple it truly is, where if we can take that idea and apply that just to the foster care system, okay? Where 2 out of 3 of these kids are ending up dead, homeless, or in jail. 60% of these sex trafficking victims are coming from foster care. We have a 3% graduation rate of college students that are coming from foster care. I mean, we change this one system and fix these small issues that are truly huge issues, we fix our entire community. And that's truly what I want. It's that small little ripple effect. If you fix one little thing, it translates to helping and helping and helping and serving and help. I mean, it's just a snowball effect of blessings. And that's truly what this is all about, is to get people to understand how simple it truly is to serve your way to success.
Look at that. Getting some flowers from my man Josh. He's a good dude, man. He's gonna be on here soon.
He's a cool guy.
And it all starts with some Manny bucks. It's all off the Manny bucks.
Manny bucks, yes.
And hopefully the daddy bucks and maybe some Freddy bucks. I mean, we gotta get these bucks going. Hey, look, crypto's going crazy right now, so we might as well turn this into a win for everybody and use that to uplift the mission that you're on. So how many kids you got? Because this is a dad show. It's about we got to know how many kids you got.
I am a father of 3. I've been a dad since 19, and now I have a 14-year-old teenager with his first girlfriend already. So very exciting times. My youngest daughter, she's 6, going on 15, and my middle child is 11, and he's an engineer that's figured the world out already. So fun times as a dad. But that's I think the fun part about building an entrepreneurship is to truly see. I mean, Manny Bucks, for example, came about because my 2 sons love Fortnite and they were collecting V-Bucks every day. And I'm like, dang, these kids are addicted to this stuff. How can we get them addicted to learning about how to build their own dreams? So Manny Bucks came about as that gamification model to say, why not we just reward these students to show up to school? And then they can use these Manny Bucks to collaborate with the experts I'm bringing in as contributors. I mean, I created a school where the teachers are the CEOs of the companies and the industries that they're teaching. And you can literally go then collaborate with that CEO, join their mastermind groups, get one-on-one calls with them, get coaching by them, join their consulting programs, all without $1 out of their own pocket. One of the biggest things I noticed when I started doing this From Orphan to CEO program is I started hosting live events, and the students, no matter how motivated they were, they didn't go home with $20,000 in the bank and a Rolodex of people they can go hire to plug in all of their opportunities, all these dreams that they want to build, as all as at step 1. It's like, I have this dream, I want to do this, but I don't know how. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what that first step is. So we can take them to that first step. We can take them from A to Z. We can literally fund their business idea from start to from scratch, literally without $1 out of their own pocket. And that's where the Manny Bucks comes in. They get rewarded to go to school. And by going to school, they earn Manny Bucks. And these Manny Bucks can now be used to unlock the ability to collaborate with our contributors. So it's a really interesting ecosystem. Not as crypto as most people would think. So it's not like you can go buy Manny Bucks on some exchange, save them up, and you're going to be a millionaire someday.
Don't put limits on this bad boy.
Tokens. They're only good in our network.
Don't put limits on this bad boy. We could turn this.
I have to, because then it becomes a security. And then I've got to file with all kinds of paperwork. It becomes an investment tool. It has to be a digital token for it to stay the way it is, which allows our contributors and our network to earn these for free. You cannot buy Manny Bucks. You can only earn them.
That still has, that barter system still works. I mean, that's why
basically what it is, like a barter system that we can track. So these students, they don't have to try and barter things that they don't have, right? I mean, these kids can literally just go on an app and watch videos on YouTube and earn Manny Bucks. I mean, we're literally having them watch interviews with billionaires and millionaires to show them what it truly takes to build a successful idea.
Yeah, and they don't have access to Clubhouse, so they need that still.
I don't have access to Clubhouse, man. I don't have an Apple device. My son has one, but I don't want to steal his phone every 10 minutes to be checking notifications.
Daddy owns everything in the house, even though he don't get to use it. So you need to.
Right?
I have
that conversation all the time, man.
You got to teach him about the dad tax. That's the candy from the first.
I do that with all of the snacks. I get my dad tax on snacks. That's
fries from McDonald's bags, all that. You get all the extras. That's the dad tax. That's what happens when you pay for it. So and then the people will, if somebody wanted to see, the kids in action, because I think your first show, the one on Roku, shows some of that classroom setting where you're taking them and you're teaching them, and then they go out there and then they have those resources to draw on. So you want to tell them about the Roku channel and how they might be able to get to you there or see
Sure. So if you guys have Roku, you can literally just go in Roku, search for Manifestation. That's the channel. So just search for Manny. There's a very easy spelling right there. And I'm literally, if you type in Manny, it's like the only thing that would pop up. But Manifestation is the channel. From Orphan to CEO is the show. For those that do not have or does not have Roku, because I've noticed like maybe 50-50 of the people I have Roku. Well, if you text this number right here, just the word gifts, right? Just put gifts. I'll give you a bunch of free gifts, not just that, but I have over 20 gifts I'll give you for free. But it's going to take you to this sexy little platform right here, and check it out. You got a button there that says TV show. You click on it, and it's going to literally open up our show. You can watch the pilot episode. It's literally, I just simplified it to YouTube videos. So for those that don't have Roku, you can watch it right on our platform for free.
Sweet. And if all goes well and nobody rejects the fact that we did a double start on this TV show, you're probably going to see that same show on my app, which is awesome too. So what's one weird, funny, or amazing thing that people don't know about you that you don't mind sharing with us right now?
So in our first take, I talked about some of my quirky music. I don't know how much of that made our first take, but let's add something else. What else quirky that that we can pop in there? My dance moves, I would say definitely. If you've seen my daughter dance on social media, that's me. That's me. All her dance moves are for me. So if you guys want to know how Manny dances, just go watch my daughter dance, and she literally just copies me. It's definitely the most quirky thing. My wife doesn't ever want to dance with me. She loves dancing too, and she's always telling me no. So I know for sure they're not up to par.
So in a battle she wins, or is it kind of just like a weird tie?
She would win for sure. Yeah, she's got all of the cumbia and all that down. I ain't got none. I try. I have confidence. I'll go on and I'll do my thing, but it ain't gonna look pretty. That's for sure.
Listen, bro, you can't be good at everything, and you're like, you're world class at one thing. It's like that movie Glass, you're in a spectrum, and it's like you're super, but you're gonna drown in water, or you're gonna break like glass, but you're a genius. You're just on the non-dancing spectrum. I mean,
we all have that rhythm, man. The rhythm didn't hit me, man. That's for sure. I can do systems, automation, processes, PR, systems, and automation. That's my thing. But put me on the dance floor, and you might as well just get your cameras out. You're going to go viral. It'll be funny.
All right. So I'm going to give this 1 second until you can prepare yourself for this change. All right. I'm going to give you 5 questions, rapid fire. I just want you to answer them as quick as you can, whatever comes to mind first. You ready?
All right.
If you could buy any type of food right now, what would you buy?
Chipotle. I love Chipotle.
I thought it was going to be tacos. That's your main thing.
Yeah, it's like a big taco.
What color is your toothbrush?
Blue, I think. Yeah, I think it's blue. No, it's black. It's black.
Are you sure? You need to go check that.
I'm positive now. I'm positive because I'm like, okay, I leave it on the tooth thing already. I visualize it. What color is it? It's black.
Gotcha.
It's one of those ones that go. Brrr. I like those ones. Spin Brush Pro. That's my jam right there.
Fancy. What are you gonna do with if the battery dies? You're just gonna go back to the caveman style, or just beat it like that against your neck?
I try to make sure I have batteries on hand at all times. We have a lot of devices, and the last thing I need is these kids running out of batteries and bugging daddy. So we try to keep batteries in stock at all times, and we're pretty good at that. But yeah, caveman style. If it ain't working, sometimes I even have to use my finger. I ain't got a toothbrush. Forget it at Airbnb or something, and then I'm like, oh crap, and I'm got to go old school. Grandma taught me that one. That was a good one.
Well, you should double check your stash because Christmas just passed, and then 3 Kings Day as well. So you might have went low on the battery. So I would check that if I was you. All right.
We did replace them recently, so yeah, they've been checking.
If you could be any animal, what would you be and why?
I would be a Komodo dragon. That is my favorite animal. Is ain't nobody messing with a Komodo dragon. You get bit by one of those, you die in some point.
Yeah. Where'd you pick that up? I mean, that's the idea that you're just going to poison somebody. Well, you're going to rotten.
Hey, if you're an animal, you have to be a predator or you're prey. I am not going to be prey, that's for sure. So I have to be a predator, and I ain't going to be on awesome interviews with the dad next door as a Komodo dragon. I'm going to be trying to eat some food. So I want to make sure I've got some pretty strong features, I guess you would say. My little superpowers I want to have. And acid breath, that's pretty badass. I guess my wife would say I have acid breath every morning, but I digress.
You sure it's acid and not something close?
I think we forgot the ID. We just take off the ID, right?
Yeah, I probably heard the one I suggested more than you. Yeah, so what is one of the things you want to put on your bucket list?
Bucket list.
You
Okay.
have on your bucket list.
I want to. I guess I have a lot of places I want to visit in the world that I want to check off with the Queen, and that's kind of a big thing. Is the family being able to create memories that I'll be able to just flip through. I mean, I visualize myself on a rocking chair with my wife at like 80 years old, and we're sitting there flipping through our life. Like that's peace for me, and that's what I'm going for in life. So capturing every experience I can along the way, and turning that into some great memories when I can't remember anything anymore.
So on that, like, what's the country or the place or the city that stands out most in your mind that like you have to get that one in?
Tropical places, Cabo, Hawaii, just anything where we're going to be able to have fun in the sun. And I just feel a real closeness with water. I don't know if you guys know this, but we're like literally similar. Our bodies as humans are similar to water in so many ways, like the ocean. Literally, like our bodies are made of 75% water. The world's made of 75% water. Our bodies are made up the same exact amount of salt that the ocean's made of. It's like really odd if you really think about it. So I have this real closeness with water, and also with the stars. I love stargazing. It's always a place where millions of billions of stars can be seen. That would be exciting.
Yeah, I feel you on the water thing. Maybe, let's pull our resources and get to Necker Island. How about that? That would be pretty sweet.
Let's do it, man. I'm down.
That's tropical. Yeah, we just got to get. I think it's like $35,000 a pop or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's up. I definitely like to do that.
That sounds.
Let me ask you this last one because it's me. So, what's your favorite superhero and why?
Favorite superhero is Batman, man. Batman for sure. Batman is you know what's weird? How many superheroes are orphans? It's the weirdest thing. Like, it's the standard for a superhero to be an orphan. Superman, orphan. Batman, orphan.
Spider-Man.
Name Spider-Man. Almost all of them, right? I mean, they're all somehow orphans in some capacity, but Batman's definitely my favorite. The guy that just, uses his wits and his money to be able to solve challenges. And I'm thinking everybody can be Batman in some capacity, be your own version of Batman in some way, where he's always got a solution. He doesn't look at a challenge as, oh no, we're not going to be able to get out of this. It's always like he sees something and there's always a solution within a very short amount of time. And of course it's all fictional in a sense, but that's kind of that character that I like to emulate in a sense of those lifestyle type, features of confidence, character, and abilities.
Yeah, I've always, to me, it's Iron Man and Batman. To me, Batman without the anger issues kind of thing, but they're both men who created through tech and bravery. The whole, it's not even a power. It's just the power of like determination and intellect.
Creativity.
Yeah, they're just driven dudes, and they're in world. They're dealing with gods and they're still smarter than the smartest guys in the room, which is amazing to me. So I favor those two overall. So thank you for that. So what do you think your superpower is, as far as like you do better than anybody else? I know you said tech, so if you want to go there, but it could be a personality trait or something. You tell me.
I would say simplicity is a superpower. I make things simple in a lot of different arenas, whether it has to do with systems, processes, ideas. And I hear this more often than not, that I make it sound too easy. Like, I've been struggling with this idea for years. I've been struggling with this challenge. I haven't been able to figure out what to do. And you somehow in 5 minutes has made it the most easiest thing I could do. And I'm like, why haven't I done this already? And so I don't know, I see it as a true superpower, because when I can give somebody clarity on a call, now they can take an idea to fruition. I mean, who knows how many lives I could touch? It could be something that completely changes the world. And all I did was give them clarity for 5 minutes to tell them, yeah, it's possible. Here's how to do that. So I kind of like being this digital mentor to people and getting them to understand what truly is possible. And I don't know if it's a God-given gift or something, but it's like people tell me a challenge, and within 30 to 60 seconds, I have a solution, whether it's something, implementatable on their end or not. It's something that I know can work for a lot of those arenas. Of course, I try to stay in my lane, so I'm not like this jack of all trades, but if it has to do with getting your message out there to more people, if it has to do with telling people about an idea that you're passionate about and you want to get people to support that idea, and that's truly what everybody wants. They want to be heard. They want to be loved. They want to be filled as valued in their community. And if they can see clarity on confidence of their process, their idea, their service, their products, it's a game changer for people. I mean, giving them that lack of fear from what they were doing, because now they can see it's possible. That's definitely a superpower, I believe.
It is. Simplification is one of the hardest things to do, and especially in today's world where everything, if you press a button, but like that button does so many things, it's like, how did that do that, and people take it for granted, and then when they try to do something, they're like, wait a minute, it was 3 steps, and now there's all this, this background. It's like, it is a superpower. That's the Batman in you. You figure that stuff out. All right, so what are 3 things you love to do, hobbies or passions, that complete you, when you're not doing this? I know you love this, but what are the top 3 things?
So if I'm not working, I'm either playing video games with my kids. I love playing, first-person shooter games with the boys. Uno with the family. That seems to be a new little tradition for us. Even my daughter, she loves it. She's playing along with it very well. And movies. I love movies. I'm a movie buff. So me and the wife, the family, we love putting Netflix on or putting on some Hulu or Disney Plus or something in that sense, and just watching something. We pick a genre, and it's like, we're going to watch comedy tonight. We're going to watch action tonight. We stay away from the thrillers too much. The wifey doesn't like those, especially at night. But the kids always want to watch some scary movie. They're like, oh, let's watch, let's watch this one. And I'm like, no. But movies is, I would say, one of the biggest things that we do as a family. But family time is the best time for me. If it's not work, it has to be family. And, one of the things that I want to get people to understand is that you don't have to sacrifice family. As entrepreneurs, as a dad entrepreneur, one of the things that most people don't realize or understand is that you can actually integrate your family, right? I asked Les Brown a question recently when I interviewed him, was, how do you balance work life and family life? He's like, you don't. You integrate them, right? His sons and his daughters all worked under him in his businesses. They've all worked with him. Like, all of his sons right now are operating the Les Brown enterprise, right? And now they all have their own businesses. They're all entrepreneur based. They have their speakers or coaches or consultants, and they're out there serving in the same capacity as their father. So looking at, life as a way where you can bring in family to what you're doing, you'd be surprised at how stronger that could make your bonds, right? Like, my wife is, in a sense, my customer service operations manager. She makes sure our clients are getting service, that our projects are getting delivered on time, that the communications coming in are getting noticed. So it's these things that you can just have a small little thing to have that extra time that you guys can bounce different ideas, different conversations, where it doesn't have to be lock them in a box, don't talk to me and stay away from here, to then, okay, now we can talk for 2 hours before you guys all go to sleep. So something I just wanted to kind of get out there to the group is, integrate family versus balancing work life and family life.
That's big. I've attempted to do that with mixed results because I have six. I mean,
definitely not always going to be perfect.
Yeah, the odds are against me on some things. I mean, I don't know. Or like for all the three you have, that they all dig what you do. I know your son is actually becoming a speaker. What about the other two? Is there anything that you do that they're not a big fan of? Like, I don't want to do that or whatever. But
like everything, right? So here's an example. My son is not necessarily a speaker. Like, we started getting him into different things. Like, let's see what you like. Let's put you on stage to talk. Let's have you do this. Let's have you make content. Let's have you do artist stuff. Let's launch an app with this. So we've tried 15 different things with him. Right now, he's really passionate about music. So he makes his music. He produces it. He edits videos for it. He makes commercials for his, or intros and stuff like that for his music and music videos. So what we do as parents is let them, like giving them a whole thing of opportunities. Like, we put it on the desk and roll it out and say, go ahead. What do you want to try? What do you like? What do you think is going to be exciting for you? My younger son, he's an engineer. This guy loves making weapons with nothing but trash. So he'll get, popsicle sticks, and, he got a bag of popsicle sticks. He's like, hey, Dad, you got popsicle sticks? I was like, no. Can we get some? I'm like, sure. We went down to Michael's, got some popsicle sticks. Before you know it, he comes out with a bow and arrow that he made with popsicle sticks. Crazy stuff that he's done. Actually, I'm going to go right now, and I'm going to go get his popsicle stick thing. Can I do that?
Yeah. I want to see it anyway. Let's go.
All right, take me off video for like 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
All right, so while we wait on some popsicle sticks, I'm just going to play this little, there you go, something cool. Hopefully you think so too. So he's not back yet, but when he gets back, we're going to check out Popsicle Stick Bow. And I don't have anything that my kids made off the top of my head right now to come show off. I wish I was prepared for that. But I'm going to drink some water. Let's see. And this will be cut out in the episode that goes on. But if there's any questions for Manny while he's gone, I will have them ready for them. How about that? So let's see, banners. There you go. He's back. Let's get him back on. There you go. Let's see it.
I couldn't find his shooter, but I did find his katana.
It looks like
it's popsicle sticks.
He did layers.
It's like 100 freaking popsicle sticks that he makes with this thing, and he chops them up and he glues them together. He literally gets them really sharp too. This thing could cut something. And he makes them all kinds of different ways. He's made me check this out. He made me a butterfly knife out of popsicle sticks.
He's preparing for the apocalypse. He's ready. He's gonna be the woodsmith instead of the blacksmith, the one they come to for.
Right, exactly. Except look, he even puts little joints on them and everything. It's literally a legit butterfly knife. It can't really stab somebody. It's a piece of wood, but that's the kind of thing. He's really creative. And then my daughter, she just loves to be sparkly and glittery and loves very girly stuff. Pretty dresses and bows and tiaras. Typical little 6-year-old girl.
You got that book, Fancy Nancy? Is that her thing? If you don't, you should check that out.
She likes LOL. Jojo Siwa, little YouTube people.
Jojo Siwa, I hear that one.
She had a Jojo Siwa birthday and had all these like big bows that she wanted everywhere. So it's good.
If
Very cool.
if you get to it, look up the hashtag sisters. They got a song, My Daddy Says No, and that's what I sing to them anytime they act up. It's like, Daddy says no. So they, it's a whole song about saying no to all the crap they try to put you through. But yeah. Oh, so Anthony said he was digging on the sword.
Nice.
He's throwing flowers at you. Look at that. Anthony's oh, there you go. All right, so let's keep it moving. Okay, so here's the opposite side of things. What are three things that annoy you the most, like pet peeves, or this, you don't like dealing with it, you don't like seeing it in other people? What do you got?
I don't like fakeness. That's how I would say one of the biggest things is faking it till you making it is not the strategy in my book. So that is one of my biggest pet peeves, especially in entrepreneurship, because this is why 97% of entrepreneurs are failing. Those 97% of entrepreneurs are failing because they're listening to the 97% of entrepreneurs that are failing. So for me, that's one of the big pet peeves. Another one is ghosting, right? If having conversations with people solves challenges. It's one of the biggest things, and ignoring challenges is not how you're going to get things done. So having that kind of structure, I would say, is a big pet peeve. And loyalty. Loyalty is a big thing. And I would say a lot of people, if you don't have loyalty, you're not a loyal type of person, you're just jumping ship to anything and everything, then that doesn't last too long in my book as well.
Regarding ghosting, do you feel like that might be people's shame, or just that they're being, they were just full of crap in the first place?
Both. I mean, it could be either way. It's, some people, they are not able to look in the mirror and be able to say, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I've done, and I want to fix it, right? Some people don't know how to do that, right? And I think there's an avenue of that consideration to understanding, like my mother-in-law, for example. She doesn't know how to get across what she wants to say a lot of times. And the way she says it, or the way she presents it, or doesn't say it, gives a whole different vibe than what she's trying to do. So sometimes it could be just a lack of understanding. Maybe they've never been taught how to have a conversation with people when there's tension, right? Some people run from tension. They're like, I ain't gonna deal with that. No, I'm just gonna hide my head in the sand and hopefully it goes away, right? And then you have the people that are just like, oh well, got them, right? And so you got to look at it as, how do you discern those three responses on what it could be? And that's the challenge that you have, is figuring out, when I do get ghosted, why, right? What led to that? What type of person am I dealing with? That is it somebody who just doesn't know? Can I give them the benefit of the doubt? Is it somebody that just, is afraid to say something, and maybe I've got to put that first step forward? Or maybe it is they just don't care, and no matter how much you've tried to have that conversation, they're just not willing to show you the other side of that value.
Yeah, and when you said that, I'm thinking of one particular person we both know that's been doing that to me, and yeah, that's still going on. But yeah, but also I almost ghosted somebody yesterday out of shame for not doing what I said I was going to do, but I ended up catching up so that I could show up. Even though I didn't show up 100%, I was still able to come up, show up, say what do what I was supposed to do, be accountable, because that's what it is. It's the accountability factor, right? So, exactly. That's the hardest part of any of this, especially when you're an adult, is like making yourself accountable to other people. And sometimes it grates you and irks you, and you have all these excuses on why it's okay for you to be that way. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you're going to grow, you have to man up and just be authentic about your less than stellar performance, let's just say, right? Yeah. But show up at least, because at least with that, you're showing you're reliable, somewhat, loyal to the idea that, you're supposed to be doing this one thing. And even if you're not, 100%, I think showing up at all is still better than not showing up. So, yeah.
And that goes to that communication, right? When you ghost people, it's like the simplest problems can be solved if you guys just had a conversation, right? And that could go both ways as well. I mean, I'm in some relationships like my own mother, that, you know, my last adopted mother, I haven't spoken to her in years. And we just haven't had that conversation. But whenever we do, when we have that conversation, we always fix things. It's always like, oh, there was a misunderstanding, but now we can get on the same page. But sometimes there's just no reconciliation. It's just cut the cord and you got to be done with it.
Is she, by any chance, is she Latina though?
Third generation in a sense. So I wouldn't even consider her Latina. She doesn't speak Spanish, and
it's not that. There's these.
My mother-in-law, she's Latina. That's
there's this
100%.
There's just the grudge factor that they hold them. Oh my God, I don't know. That's a whole nother talk show.
That's a whole nother episode, man. Oh, yeah, version 2 on that one.
Yeah. So here's another one. What's your kryptonite? Like the thing you struggle with the most. I don't want to call it a weakness, but the thing that's like, man, I gotta fix that. I mean, I know you're perfect. So what is it
that I know that I say are like my biggest, like, I hate this about myself. One is I get complacent, and 2 is the fact of, well, let me talk about complacency first. So a lot of times I'll get an idea or about something, I'll implement it, we'll start getting results, and then it gets to a point where I'm like, oh, this is good. All right, let's get complacent. And then there's times where I get really excited about doing something, and then I take off way more than I should. So that balance has always been my struggle, is like keeping myself busy enough to stay stimulated. And then sometimes I'm too stimulated and I'm like, yes to everything. And before I know it, I look back, I'm like, holy crap, I took on way too much right now. I need to remove some of these ideas and projects. So those are 2 my biggest problems, is, you know, taking on too much and taking on too little. And I can't really seem to find that good balance, but I keep trying.
I mean, you do need time to rest your mind and all that. So I think that's all entrepreneurs, that whole go. And then you're like, I don't feel like doing anything for the next 2 weeks. And then it's like, and you know, it's that up and down. But I mean, I think that's what drives us, is we're like that. We like roller coasters. Yeah. And
we can't stay consistent. I can't stay consistent. I can stay consistent with the audience I'm serving. I just can't stay consistent with what I'm doing with that audience, if that makes any sense.
So because it's such a commonality, what do you do to combat that? Or how do you break yourself out of it without, just ping-ponging back and forth and ease it out? Because I know what I do, and I just start saying no to things, but it's not that easy, especially when you got a lot of energy and you don't know if you should be saying no to this, because opportunity, which ones do you say? Like the discernment, the wisdom over time of like what you're capable of.
So what I've known is that there are always more opportunities. So one of the things that I've always looked back at is, for the things that I've had to say no to and that I've kicked myself in the butt with, like I was butthurt for years that I didn't jump in on an opportunity to co-author a book with Les Brown, right? I go to this event, I got to meet Les for the very first time. I even get invited to his hotel room with about 10 other people, and we're all getting this mastermind chat with Les Brown. Very first time I got to meet the guy. And I'm like, dude, this is amazing. I'm sitting in his hotel room right now. I'm talking to the guy who literally inspired me to become an entrepreneur. And he then shares this idea where he's like, hey, we're going to be doing this book project. I don't know if you guys would be interested at all, but if so, this would what it'd be. And I literally had spent every dime I had just to get to that event. It was $7,500 just to be in the room in my first year of business. And I'm like, this is the most I've spent to invest in anything in my business. It only took me $5,000 to launch my business. I'm going to spend more than that to attend one event to possibly meet Les Brown. I mean, it was a big risk factor. And then there was an invite to collaborate with him. And I'm like, I don't have it. I don't have the ability to do this. I wish I could say yes. And I didn't get to say yes. And I kept kicking myself for so long. I'm like, oh man, I'm never going to get an opportunity like this. Man, how can I pass up something like this? Oh man, I can never do that. And now Les Brown's a client of mine. I've launched an app for Les Brown. I'm working on partnership projects. Last year alone, we had him speak at 6 of our events. when usually we only get to collaborate with them once every 2 years. So it's a fact of knowing that there's always more opportunities. So that is a really good deviation for me to be able to say no when I have opportunities come up. I'm like, the plate is full right now. I've just got to stop saying yes for the next couple of weeks until I catch up, or next month or two, right? Where I have to get really focused. And then to get off of the complacent side, what I do is I grab this little thingy. Where is it? Here it is. I grab this and I start thinking of ideas. I got all these different ideas of what I start mapping out as opportunities, ideas, what I can integrate, what I can put together, and then I get to work. So as soon as I get one page will be built out, and I'll be like, all right, I'm excited now. I can't wait to tell everybody about this. So one of the things, if you guys get complacent, just think, create an idea, create something, maybe change an idea that you have, come out with a version 2 of something, so you got something exciting to go tell people about and give it away for free. That way there's no reservations of telling somebody about it. That's one of the hardest things I notice is when people want to launch a program, they want to launch an idea, and then they want to charge for it. Then they're over here like, well, I'm afraid to get on the call with somebody because I have to then tell them what the price is and try to sell them on it, right? When in reality, if you create some type of free version of it, like documenting the process, this could be the simplest thing. And like this, right? I could literally just take a picture. This could be what I'm giving away to people. I'm like, look, I documented a process on 31 questions that I answered about goals, right? I took a picture of it. Can I send it to you for free? I want to chat with you about it. I want to share it with you. Bam, opens up the conversation. Now you got a relationship that you're building more value with. And 80% of your business, my friends, is going to come between 5 to 12 contacts of value. Don't think that you always just have to sell them an opportunity when you connect with them. You can give them all kinds of free ways to collaborate and connect while you're building that relationship.
So in that book is the blueprint that you did for this show? Because I was going to say, this show is a kind of a manifestation of probably something you threw down.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely every idea that I've read. I mean, I have stacks of these books. This is 2020's book. But every year I go through one of these, putting different ideas down, writing out things that are just exciting. I get an idea and I write it down because I know if I put it on my phone, I don't know, the weird thing, I put it on my phone, it's gone. It's somewhere and it never gets found again. But I put them on this little piece of paper. I know it's in this book. I know it's on one of these pages. And a lot of them I'll date it. I'll put all kinds of stuff in there so we can kind of reference back to them. But it's a good way where, when I die, this will become some priceless artifact of all the different ideas that Manny never implemented. There's at least 9 out of 10 different ideas that go into this book that never get actually put out to the public. They're just ideas that are like, man, that was fun. All right, let me go restart something I'm already doing because I can't add another idea on. But
you had to get it out of your system. You had to birth that bad boy and then become.
Exactly. So I write out the process, or I write out what I would think, like how I would present it to the world to get them to know about this idea. What would I do? So that's kind of how it'll break down.
So my version of that is the phone and various programs like Evernote, because when I do it, I can go back and search keywords and find them real quick instead of like going through boxes of books. But everybody got their method, and the one thing I learned from, I think it was J. Allen Samet. He has his idea, disruption, disruptive industry, disruptive technologies and industries, and he's like zombie ideas. And it's like, if there's the idea that gets in your head and you push it away and you let it go, like in a book, and it keeps coming back and back and back, it keeps coming back from the dead. That's the one you should pursue because that's the one that was kind of worth having. So if you start getting those zombie ideas, the one that kind of come back to you, that's the ones you got to explore a little bit more.
That's where Network of Influence came. It was this idea that just kept saying, you got to create a way to fund this project where the students do not pay. Right. So I created my Network of Influence mastermind group where every time we bring in a new member, we bring in somebody for our PR agency, we start another app project. It creates multiple scholarships, multiple education and resources in our From Orphan to CEO program. And it kept just coming to me. As soon as I went to that event and I heard that, it was like the biggest light bulb ever. Literally, that's why I left the event early. I go to this event. By Saturday, I get this light bulb moment. I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready to go home. I'm telling the wife at caller, I'm like, I know Les Brown goes on tomorrow and they've asked me to be there and they want me to hang out with them after and all this stuff, but I think I need to be home. I'm ready. I have this idea. I need to implement it and I can't be here with these distractions. I go home and then the next day, the whole situation happened in Vegas, which was a really eerie thing. But at the end of the day, it's something where once you have those ideas and that light bulb moment and it's just like that epiphany, so many people just take it and be like, that was so amazing. And they put it on their shelves instead of actually implementing the idea, finding a mentor who's at least accomplished somewhat similar to that type of idea and is willing to teach you and open up some doors for you. And that's where a lot of people miss is they think they have to go do it themselves. They can't hire somebody. They can't delegate the process. They can't learn from somebody. They just got to go put your head down and go get it done. But yet they never get it launched because they just don't really, in essence, know what they're doing. So learn from people who've already been there, build your own dream, and make sure faith is the foundation. Because that's the whole point of all of this, my friends. We got to serve others, and we're here to bring our solutions to the marketplace.
I just like that story. Just I'm trying to absorb it because there's so much that was packed in there, and you know, my takeaway is because you said you sacrificed a lot to be there. That's your hero. You're supposed to be on stage with them, and you have this idea, and you were so moved that you had to get out of there. And then that event happened. I don't know, did it cancel the event? I don't know. But the point is, like, when you have that intuition, that strong vibe, and you act on it, like amazing things happen. And that's kind of like what happened to me with the kids. You know, we weren't intending to adopt so many, but I had that same kind of moment in church where it was kind of like a tap on the shoulder from God. You got to, like, you know, the message was there, this, that, the other thing. It was like too many things. It was just so powerful. I had to act on it. Right. So, you know, I don't know. Hopefully other people get that moment in their lives too, where they have that moment of inspiration where they just have to drop everything and go. I mean, you know, that's like a follow Jesus mode. Follow me. Like, I got to go say bye to my family. Nope. Come follow me. And, you know, an amazing journey begins. And I hope to have more of those in my life, but you definitely don't know when they're going to come and what they're going to look like. That's for sure. So thank you for that.
It's always been really random. That's for sure.
Yeah. And definitely not when you expect it. And most of the time at the worst possible time. That's the other thing. So
my conversation with God was after a phone call I got from a friend of mine saying, your business model is going to have to change from the ground up. If it doesn't, you're going to have to go on a very immoral ground and venture and journey or start over. But that moment was my biggest fear. It was putting my family at the risk of the one thing I promised my wife would never be again, and that's homeless. We were homeless twice, and she's been with me since high school. She's been at every single step of the way. And when I started this business, we started the company in the back of somebody's garage. Literally, they converted part of their garage into a 1-bedroom, and that became our home that we launched my idea from. When we had just became homeless, kicked out on the street, and we're sitting there in the back of someone's house that they converted into a 1-bedroom. And I'm making her a promise like, babe, in the next 5 years, when I turn 30, we're going to have this, and this. You just have to trust the plan. Trust the plan. Go with me on this journey, and we're going to win. I'm not going to lose. I promise you, we will never be homeless again. We will have the, house in Lake Elsinore we'll be living in by the time I'm 30. We'll have our daughter. We'll have this. All of these things. And at that moment, in January 2017, I get that call. And if I don't change my business model, then I'm not Manny Lopez anymore. And if I do change my business model within 2 months, if I don't have results by serving my way to success, I'm homeless again. And so that was a big turning moment for me. And it happened at the worst possible time to where I finally got clarity on what my purpose was supposed to be. And that's truly to help the orphans, because I don't have fear. I'll walk through any door and I'll kick down any door I need to get this message where it needs to go. Everybody that we've brought this to, that I've wanted to bring into our community, has said yes, right? We've got Ty Lopez, we've got Les Brown, we've got the founder of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, we've got Operation Underground Railroad. I mean, the list goes on of the people that have said, yes, let's inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs. Let's show them how to do it.
Powerful stuff, man. So you shared something you got from Les Brown, but what you got, like a one piece of dad advice, or maybe like a dad hack that someone that's a dad could be like, oh, I never thought of that, or I never tried that. Something that you might have come up with over the years that you'd like to share. Some cool bit of Manny discovery that you kind of found on your own that you use. You don't need, maybe you don't tell people about it, maybe you do. But if you want, I'd like to hear it.
For dads, I look at it as what I've been able to learn as a dad. Don't think you're going to make a copy paste kit, right? Whatever you instill into your kids are a customization of their own life experience. Unless you bring them into the same exact life experience that you've had, which is near to impossible, you're not going to get the same result. So one of the biggest things I've noticed is let my kids be who they are. I don't need a Manny Lopez Jr., right? I am more than happy to have an Isaac Lopez that does his own thing and lives his own life, right? Another thing I've learned is if you're going to give 100% in your business, you got to give 100% in your family as well. This isn't 50-50. You can't go give 100 at work all day, hustling and grinding, and then come home and say, oh, I'm too tired to play, kids. Oh, no, I don't. I've got to be working tonight. I've got to be too tired. I can't do that right now. You can't do that. You got to look at it as if you want to give 100% at work, then you got to give 100% at home as well. And if you're too tired to work, too tired to play with the kids, then you're putting in too much here. You're putting 120, 150%, because you should have enough to give to the family as well. And that's been a big game changer. That and that concept of not balancing work life and family life, but integrating it together. Those three life advices that I've been able to learn over the years has definitely been something that carries me through when I'm teaching my kids, knowing that they're not going to always like what I like. They're not always going to listen to the stuff that I do. But if I instill with them the example that they can look at, that's what they're going to see. They're not going to listen to what I say. They're going to see what I do. And as long as I can set that example, they're going to see what it truly means to be. They're going to either look at you as an example of who they want to be in life, or they're going to look at you as an example of everything they don't want in life. And they're just going to do everything the opposite of what you are doing. Whether it's good or bad, they're just going to say, I don't want that, so I can't do what they did. Don't be that person. That leads your kids down to a wrong path. It gives them false hope that they somehow know the answers to life. It's just the opposite of whatever you did. In reality, give them that example that they need. Give them that support that they need. Give them the time. That is what equates to love. Don't buy love, show them love.
Got it. So, yeah, that's a lot to I struggle with the imbalance there, the energy that it takes to come home to that. And especially when you live in a household, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are like this now, where the kids are home because of COVID regulations and you got to do e-learning and all this other stuff. So there's this humongous juggle between, having your work schedule, being flexible, but then being so flexible that you don't get anything done, and trying to keep up that energy of shifting gears left and right. So that integration.
I like to keep my kids busy. So you have 6 kids, right? You're on a multi-level of what I'm doing, man. I can't speak to what you do, man, but a lot of the ways that I can keep the kids active is give them the small, tiny tasks of the business that really ain't going to make much of a difference. Like, have them draw you a logo, right? Or have them feel like, hey, I need this from you. You give them this little small responsibility and they feel so empowered by it. And like I get my little daughter, she's 6 years old, and I'll be like, oh, I need you to do this for me. She's like so excited to do it, right? Now, it doesn't always work. It's just something that's just like a hit or miss, right? But at the end of the day, with the amount of kids that you have, I can definitely see the challenge of trying to juggle all of that. But the more you can keep them distracted by small little tasks of responsibility, it definitely can alleviate a lot of that balance that you may need to kind of integrate.
I've always thought it'd be maybe they could write some email copy or take calls from me that I don't want to take. Put the 3-year on the phone. Yeah, what do you want?
Hey, I've had my 5-year-old on sales calls before where he just, have the excitement, call them up and let them know that I want to talk to them. And you just, click a button on there and submit them on our site. So you never know, right? I start my kids in my business at around 5 to get them just excited about doing things, even though they have no idea what they're really doing. But by that 8 to 10, they'll still be in it. They'll still be loving it. And that's one of the things I notice when a lot of entrepreneurs say, how do you have your kids integrated in your business? How are they like at events with you? And they're like having fun. They're actually paying attention and they're engaged. How do you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I've just had them in the business stuff since like 5 years old, right? Since they first started understanding, what we're kind of doing. If they're part of the experience from such a young age, it makes it kind of difficult for them to see that there is something else out there. They're like, oh yeah, this is just life, hanging out at the entrepreneur events and doing business calls with daddy and, all these different things that is just, it becomes standard versus watching another YouTube video, right? Or, playing video games. Sometimes you can kind of turn business into a game, right? And so kind of have fun with it as a dad or an entrepreneur and keep it refreshing because the kids can get really creative. I go to my kids a lot for ideas about our show, about our platform, how to get engaging content to our younger generation. Like, what do they do? What do they like? And by giving them that little small sense of responsibility, it makes them feel like, daddy has me part of the group. I'm the CFO, chief fund officer, right? I mean, it gives them that sense of responsibility, and that kind of builds a lot of character.
Yeah, maybe some titles. That's one I might have to start doing. CFOs and bill collectors. Where's my money? Right. But 3-year-old, like the
my dad's a superhero. He needs his money.
You ever see the Will Ferrell landlord one where Pearl the landlord? I think it's his daughter.
Oh, yeah. For that little girl.
Yeah. That's
I want my money.
Yeah, I think I need to do that. So here's another one. So based on
you know what would be genius? I know, just a little segue. Yeah. Have like the girls record a little intro video when you need to send some like an update to your client. Be like you just delivered something to them, and have one of the girls, hey Johnny, your stuff is delivered. Check your email, and then like send that to. I mean, that simple little things that just keeps it real fun and engaging.
Yeah, there's I heard of it yesterday. There's like I forget. I got to look it up. The guy was on Clubhouse and he was talking about his business. It's just these little videos that you do, personalized videos that you can send to people, like as an email, 30-second thing where it's like a message, and maybe that might be cute. My daddy says your stuff's on the way, or we're gonna set up the car. So maybe that'll be kind of cool thing to play with them because they definitely like to show and dance and do a lot of talking. So I might as well put that to use. So here's another one. So based on the general knowledge of dads and what they're supposed to be, right? There's these dad stereotypes, right? Like, for example, dads are supposed to be good on the grill. That is not me. So what's like a dad stereotype? Like people say dads are this and dads are that. That is like totally not you. That you're like, I don't know about that. You got something like that?
Handy Manny. Handy Manny is not a handy Manny for sure. So I have to get out the YouTube and the how-to guides. I don't even know how to change my own oil. I might break the car if I try to change my own tire. I'm afraid to do so. So handy daddy, that's not me for sure. Gotcha. I can get stuff done, right? I mean, if I put my mind to it, I can go. I built, my daughter's bed, with enough instruction in front of me, and I think it's sturdy enough that she can lay on it. But I'm not the typical dad that just fix it on everything. I'm the type that's going to take 6 months and keep asking me, and stop reminding me. I'm gonna get it done. Don't worry.
Same here, man. Like, I get it. OSHA's not going to approve of our handiwork.
Yes, for sure.
You're gonna get L&I is gonna come and shut that project down. I feel you. I know we covered some of this. Let me see. I just to let you know, I had some questions here, but I think we kind of went over. There's no point in repeating it. Here's a pretty big one. Like the dad collective here, like a message to dads. If we were to unite as an army of dads, and it's like, you have this force behind you of 100,000 dads. Like, how can we, the dad collective out there listening to this, whether now or later on, how can we help you out in some form or fashion to further your cause?
For the dads, I would suggest creating a community of non-fatherless homes. Find a way to teach dads how to become better mentors, teach dad how to become more present, because fatherless homes are what's breaking this society. I mean, if we don't look at the relationships of the children and the mother when the father's not in the home, right? Look at the rate of recidivism, of getting in prison and getting locked up and getting in trouble and being on drugs and all these different things that all come back to fatherless homes. So fathers that are watching right now, dads, entrepreneurs, show the example of what it's like to have a father blessing type of home, right? Where you are present, you are there. Show them that you can build a successful business and still have a happy family. Show them that you can be a present dad and raise great children that are respectful and humble, right? I mean, it's us that sets the example in our families. If we aren't there, we're out there doing dumb stuff and we're hanging out and things that aren't going to be healthy for our relationships. That does not translate into a better society. So if we truly want a better society, we need to be the heroes that our kids think we are. We need to be those dads that we wished we had. And then at the end of the day, that's what's truly going to help this next generation of dads and sons and daughters that will be who we look up to and who we are going to be governed by in a sense. So we have to really understand that it's really on us to set that example and set that tone. And once you realize that amount of responsibility, I think you'll start to truly see what's the reason why you are here and why you have value in what you're able to do and why you're watching this right now and listening to this and starting to formulate these ideas on, well, dang, well, maybe if I could do that a little bit more, what if I did get a small group of dads together and we just started figuring out ways that we can be better dads, better husbands, better fathers, and really be mentors to the community around us. Maybe you don't have kids. Maybe you're an entrepreneur and you don't have any kids yourself. You can mentor kids. You know, there's over 400,000 kids in foster care right now. There's an organization called CASA, Court Appointed Special Advocates, where you can sign up as a mentor for free. They'll take you through a certification program and they'll connect you to foster kids that you can mentor. You can share your life experience with. You can give them the idea that it is possible. So many of these kids, they don't have fathers, especially the ones in foster care. They don't have somebody that's showing them that right direction of what you need to do, how to be respectful, how to treat a woman, how to have a relationship, how to be loved and how to love. And that's something a lot of us as fathers still need to work on, still need to learn, and masterminding. Find people that are already in these other arenas who are like-minded individuals that want to have that same mindset and that same goal of really creating a better world and a better community.
So being a father to the fatherless, that seems to be the theme, which is actually, that's kind of why I did this. I mean, trying to look for those opportunities. And CASA, are they national or are they South, the
They're
South?
Every major city in the U.S. Got
it. All right. I mean, I met Richard through your organization. I guess I got to read. That's him, right? Villanueva. Richard. I'm sorry.
Richard is Forever Homes for foster kids. He reunites foster kids that have been separated. CASA is Diane Smyers.
Smyers, got it. And yeah, we're Facebook friends, so I gotta. All right. So now that I for some reason I got the two kind of.
They're very similar. They both work in the foster care system. They're both usually at my events at the same time. So a lot of times you'll run into them probably at the same table in a lot of cases.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I've talked to her. Okay. So thank you for that. Cause now I can look at that a little bit differently. So we're winding this down. We've definitely gone and chopped it up. We probably could have went through 2 or 3 beers in this, but I don't know. Maybe that's appropriate. Maybe not. Maybe we start doing that. I don't know.
Hey, I started my podcast with wine, and by the second episode, it got pretty crazy. So don't have too much, I guess. But
Is that the
I like that idea.
one?
Having some type of like crack a beer with it.
The After Dark one with your wife, right? That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still waiting to do our third one, so probably going to keep the Cocoa Bon away because it got a little crazy at the last one.
I think I got a couple that might want to come in on one of your things for you. He's in the dad group too. So, all right. So let's take us out. So here's the thing. This is the finale. You ready? You ready with your dad joke? You gotta take us out with a dad joke. That's how we know this.
All right, dad joke. Okay. I've got 2 I could use, but I think we could do good with just this one. All right. So, and I was like, practice, because you told me like, all right, we gotta have a dad joke ready for the show. And I'm like, all right, I'm thinking like, what was a good dad joke? And I went and started like researching some dad jokes as well. So this may be good, this may be not. You may have heard this 1,000 times, but why can you not have a 12-inch nose?
I know this one, but I'm gonna let you do it because this is one I'm probably gonna use on my kid one day. But go ahead.
Because then it would be a foot.
That's the true dad joke. See, that's the thing. They're hard to really nail down because there's age ranges for these things, but that one's a rated E for everybody one. So
E for everyone, yes.
I give that one a thumbs up. It's probably going to go into my TikTok dad jokes at some point, but I didn't know that one. So thank you for that. But somebody out there might not have. So you just gifted them with the gift of laughter and the agony, well, the fun of watching their children react to that one and like,
funny dad.
Oh, wait a minute. The best one is, wait a minute, what? And then, oh, like
yeah, right.
The delayed reaction. Yeah, that's always fun. So listen, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you said yes to this. I love you, brother. I definitely thank you for saving this show. First episode.
I love it when they reschedule on the last minute, right?
Yeah,
that's the part about it. You gotta have those little. You'll kind of learn, I guess, when you go through the show process a few times. You're like, all right, I gotta have these little things in the back of my pocket in case these little emergencies pop up.
Yeah, and there's a very good reason, and I'll let him tell the story. But yeah, man, appreciate you coming in last second, and you're still, like I said, you're one of the 3 fathers of this bad boy. So you did me the honor. Thank you very much. I love you, brother. And yeah, we'll talk soon. I'm gonna put you in the green room for a second, if that's okay.
Sounds good, guys. Well, thanks for having me. And always remember, you are too blessed to be stressed. Go serve your way to success.
Cool. All right, guys. I hope this episode was everything you wanted and more. Might have went a little long. I'm still getting used to the hang of this thing here, but thanks for hanging out. I wanted to say, like I said, thanks. This was fun. We got our first episode on the books. I hope it was fun and informative. I hope it made you laugh a little bit. I hope it made you think even more. One last thing I wanted to share as a gift, as appreciation for all of you who stayed this long, watched this whole episode. I'm giving away a scholarship worth $2,000 to one of my mastermind groups. Now, if you don't know what a mastermind group is, you should go out and pick up the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Go get that like today, right now, off of Audible or wherever you can, and check that out. In a nutshell, in case you don't get it right away, mastermind groups are like small, intimate groups of very knowledgeable individuals who meet on a regular basis, discuss different topics, in this case, entrepreneurship and business development, that mastermind I'm referring to. And they're there to help each other out. Each member of a mastermind usually has a unique set of skills or a level of experience that many others do not have, or which as a collective make them a very effective and powerful resource when you're trying to solve problems, grow your business, or even just simply level up your knowledge and self-development. So anyway, if you're interested in a chance to experience one of those high-level masterminds, I want you to text the word mastermind to 1-305-602-3632. Let me get that up for you guys. That way you can see it. Again, text the word mastermind to 1-305-602-3632. And there'll be a process there. You'll fill out a little bit of a questionnaire, and then you'll be entered for a chance to win a 30-day scholarship, which I'll be doing a drawing for, giving away that every fourth episode. So dads, entrepreneurs, all you other sexy people that tuned in, if you like what you heard and you want to make sure you're here every time we go live, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on the Dad Next Door YouTube channel, or you press the following buttons on Facebook. Catch me on LinkedIn or Clubhouse or wherever you catch me. Keep stalking me the good old-fashioned way, and it's all good. That's it for me, guys. Take care, comb your hair, and I'll see you in the next one. Daddy out.